All right, welcome back to Technique WOD. I'm Doug Larson and this is Ashley Bledsoe. In our last video, we talked about getting into a handstand. This is kind of a continuation of that last video. We're going to talk about handstand push-ups and how to scale handstand push-ups. So if you're not familiar with handstand push-ups, this is what a handstand push-up looks like. This is a strict handstand push-up with no kip. Very nice. Obviously that's a very hard and very heavy movement. A little bit easier if you're a very small person. If you're a little bit overweight, it's going to be even more difficult. Or if you're brand new to CrossFit, pushing your entire body weight overhead is going to be a very difficult task for you. So a lot of people have to scale. There's a lot of ways to do that. The easiest way, if Ashley wants to demo on the ground here, the easiest way to scale, just put your feet on the ground nice and straight and just touch your head to the ground. There you go, very nice. If that position is a tough position for you to get into, because that requires a good deal of hip flexion and hamstring mobility to get into this position here. If that's very tough for you, you can see a lot of people having to bend like this and then they're kind of doing just a really bad push-up at that point. So those people can put their knees up on the box, pushing your hips as high as possible, and then touching your head to the ground in a similar way. You can see her torso is basically vertical. That way we're still doing a true overhead press and we're not doing a push-up. You see a lot of people do a bad one where their hands are way far forward and they're almost doing a push-up, even go further forward. Like you're doing a bad push-up. Yeah, like that. I see that all the time. So you want to get your torso all the way vertical. Point number 2 is you want to touch your head. You can see her hands are on the red line. You want to touch your head beyond the line, like this. What you don't want to do is touch your head back here, like that. There you go. Beautiful. Go and hop up for a second. So you can see when she was touching her head beyond the line, it's just like doing a barbell press with your hands out in front of you like this. And then if your head was touching right on the line, her hands would be right in line with her head. But when she touched her head closer to the box, it's like doing a press like this, where you're super externally rotated, and that's a very hard position on your shoulder. This position here is even called the at-risk position for your shoulder. So that's very hard on your shoulder. So you want to touch your head beyond the line here. That way you're pressing with your hands out in front of you like a normal overhead press would be. Level 2 for scaling would be to have your feet on the box and your legs straight, similar to how we did it on the ground, but you're just, this time instead of having your knees on the box, you're pressing a slightly higher percentage of your body weight. Just like that. There you go, beautiful. All right, usually if someone can do this, no problem. We'll let them try real handstand push-ups on the wall, this time with a band. So what Ashley's gonna do is she's gonna tie one band up top, loop another band through like this, and then she's gonna put her shoulders in the band, and then she can kick up into a handstand. A lot of people do like to start with their head on the ground in a headstand, then you can just wrap your feet around the band and it'll take away a little bit of that load and give you a little bit of assistance on the way up. All right, very nice. Obviously, these are kind of a mid-sized band. If you want to use a bigger band, or if you need to use a bigger band, that's totally cool. Usually I'll keep this band pretty much the same since most of the stretch is coming out of the top band, and I'll change the size of the top band. So if you need a bigger band like a green band or a smaller band, like a smaller black band or a red band, then you can work your way towards no band at all by making the band smaller and smaller and smaller each time. And the last thing we want to talk about for scaling, if you're in a competition where you're not allowed to scale, then you're probably allowed to kip. So we're going to talk about kipping. Go ahead and just demo a kipping handstand push-up, please. There you go. All right, so Ashley just showed a kipping handstand push-up, and that's a good variation to do if you're very experienced, because it's actually probably the fastest way to do a kipping handstand push-up. Ashley's very strong at handstand push-ups, so she was doing the fast version. That version looks like this again. She's on the ground, she brings her heels right down to her butt, and then kicks out. So that's the fast version, but if she wants a more powerful version, then she will keep her butt against the wall. She'll bring her knees all the way down in front of her chest, and then she can get a little a little more drive out of her legs because she's getting more of a bend. There you go, more of a bend at the hip. So you can see the difference there. The first one looked like this, where she was overhead, her heels were coming about to her butt like this, and then she was just kicking out and getting a little bit of force. On the second one, instead of just coming to here, she was bending and getting her knee up nice and high, and then really exploding out of that position, and she gets a lot more power like that. I can do these really fast, but I get more power out of these. So if you're very tired, that might be a better variation to go to. But if you only have to do 5 in a row, and that's an easy movement for you, if you don't want to do strict and you want to kip, then that heel to butt version is probably the fastest way to do those kips. Got anything you want to add? That's it. All right. See you tomorrow.